it just keeps getting better. They're going to be mad about this one. We've got some breaking news. The Dodgers and left-handed reliever Tanner Scott are in agreement on a 4-year deal, and we're breaking it all down next on an emergency edition of Dodgers Dugout Live.
It's time for Dodger baseball.
Welcome to Dodger Stadium.
Dodgers win!
This is the golden age of Dodger baseball.
Grand slam! It's a double for Freddie. Magic!
They're going to make big signings. They're going to make impact trades. This is the most anticipated season in Dodgers history.
Dodgers have won it all in 2020.
Think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.
What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live. Everything you need to know about your boys in blue in less than an hour. My name is Doug McCain, credentialed member of Dodgers Media. What is up, Dodgers Nation, and welcome to another episode of Dodgers Dugout Live, the #1 Dodgers show and podcast on YouTube. My name is Doug McCain, credentialed member of Dodgers Media. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMAC_LA. Now, if you haven't yet, do me a huge favor, subscribe to the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell. If you really want to support the channel, you want to see more content, you want to see more giveaways, you want to help the channel grow, hit the like button and drop your comments down below. What is your reaction to the Dodgers signing Tanner Scott? What are your thoughts about the rest of the league and the fans of 29 other teams being upset about? Let me know down below in the comments section. But let's get right into it. As you can see, I'm not in the studio. I'm not in my home studio. I am in a car because I'm out of town for a couple of days for my grandma. We'll talk about that another time, but everything's fine. I'm here for a celebration. But another thing to celebrate is this Dodgers offseason that continues to get better. The dream offseason continued this morning because we woke up to the news that the Los Angeles Dodgers and left-handed reliever Tanner Scott are in agreement on a 4-year, $72 million contract. The deal includes a $20 million signing bonus with $21 million in deferrals. Now, there was a report a couple of weeks ago that Tanner Scott and his representatives were looking for a 4-year, $80 million deal. They wanted $20 million AAV per season, and they don't get that number, but they still get $18 million AAV. You get the signing bonus, you get the deferrals, so that's still premium money for a premium reliever. And what I say a couple of days ago, that there was still so much interest with Tanner Scott and the Los Angeles Dodgers. You were taking care of the Roki Sasaki business, and shortly thereafter, they were going to find a way to get a deal done because Tanner Scott wanted to be a Dodger, the Dodgers wanted him, and Andrew Friedman, he made it known to us after the Blake Snell introductory press conference that he did not want to go to market and make trades to acquire talent at the deadline. Now, we don't know what's going to happen. Are all these guys going to stay healthy? I mean, history tells us that some of these guys will go down, but they still have given themselves the most depth that they can in the event that doesn't happen. They got the Apple insurance, right? They got the Apple Care. They are doing everything they can in case something goes wrong. I've told you on the show, just talking to Andrew Friedman, does not like how the market operates. He literally said that it's the worst time to buy because with the expanded postseason, you're having to include more top-level prospects, take on bad contracts, get players for a price where you're paying above sticker price. You don't want to do that. I always say Andrew Friedman, he likes to buy the Halloween candy the day after Halloween, when it's on sale, when it's more inexpensive. And they went out there and they got themselves a premium reliever in Tanner Scott, someone that they've had their eyes on dating all the way back to the trade deadline a couple years ago when he was with the Miami Marlins. We've talked about Tanner Scott on this show for years, and the reason is high upside stuff, high ceiling stuff, dominant for a left-handed reliever. We're talking about someone that touches 97, 98, that has a hard slider. He pairs that fastball with the hard slider. He misses barrels. He limits hard contact. He gets big strikeouts. And he was paid like an elite reliever. This is a deal that is right there at the top. Tanner Scott's deal with the Dodgers is tied for the third highest AAV at $18 million per season for a reliever in free agent history. He's right up there with Liam Hendriks, and he's behind only Edwin Diaz and Josh Hader. Now, there is $21 million in deferred money in the deal. That will lower the contract's net present value. We're still getting a lot of money as a premium reliever that did have a ERA that was above 4 for the first 6 years of his career, that has dealt with command issues throughout his career, but things have clicked for him in the last couple of seasons. He has figured everything out, and he's right there at the top when it comes to compensation for relievers. Now, just a little background on Tanner Scott. How good is he? Is he elite? Is he up there with the Edwin Diaz's and Josh Hader's and Liam Hendriks's when he was right? Guys like that, Emmanuel Clase. Well, last couple seasons, his numbers are right up there with the Emmanuel Clase's of the world, but he's a lefty, right? He gives you that advantage. Let's say the Dodgers are taking on the Mets in the NLCS. You've got Tanner Scott. You've got Alex Vesia. You got lefties that you can match up with elite left-handed hitters, and the production's just been there. He made the All-Star team for the first time in his career in 2024. He posted a 1.75 ERA. That was 6th among qualified relievers, had 84 punch-outs to 36 walks in 72 innings of work. He was with the Marlins and was traded to the Padres. The Padres gave up some top prospects for him, only to see him sign with the Dodgers this offseason. Man, the Padres are down bad. We'll get to them a little bit. Now, he had 22 saves last season. He had 18 with the Marlins, 4 with the Padres. He has 54 saves in his last 3 years combined. And the strikeout rate's there too, a 28.6% strikeout rate. But that number was higher in 2023. In 2023, posted a 33.9% strikeout rate. The ERA was a little higher at 2.31. The FIP was at 2.17. But all these numbers will just tell you that he's elite. I mean, if you want to just keep it basic, with qualified relievers in the last 2 seasons combined, he's 4th in the sport among qualified relievers in ERA. He's 5th in FIP. So we're talking about a top 5 guy with elite stuff. And another thing you need to know about him is he's absolutely dominant, as you would expect, against left-handed hitters. In 2024, lefties slashed 133, 217, had a 187 slugging percentage, and he struck out lefties, wait for it, at a 42.9% clip. That's absolutely elite. And look no further than Shohei Ohtani. So, yes, Shohei did have the go-ahead hit in the clincher against the Padres that clinched the division for them in the regular season. But in the postseason, Tanner Scott had his way with Shohei Ohtani. In the postseason, against the Dodgers, Tanner Scott was great. He pitched 3 scoreless innings, had 5 strikeouts, and 4 of those 5 strikeouts were against Shohei Ohtani. So I think Show GM is back at work. You guys know by now that Shohei Ohtani was heavily involved in the recruitment of Roki Sasaki. He was the one who informed the organization through text, through a message, quote, "We got him." And we know that he probably was involved in this as well. And Shohei Ohtani says, you know what, man, I can hit everybody else in the league. Struggled against Tanner Scott. You get him on my squad, so I got to see that guy again in the postseason. And like I said, I mean, a part of being a dominant reliever is the ability to strike guys out at a high level, which he does. The ability to miss bats up in the zone with high velocity fastballs, which he does. It's the barrels, though. It's the missing barrels and the soft contact would really take him to the next level. Last season, he was great. Last 2 seasons combined, you're seeing him improve from that standpoint. A 5.4% barrel rate before the 2023 season. After that, though, you're seeing a 4% barrel rate in 2023 and 2024 combined. That hard hit rate is at 26.7% for the last 2 seasons combined. And this is someone who didn't have the best start to his career. It's not like he was dominant from the jump and it's just been all-star season after all-star season. No, he's had to work and improve to get to where he's at. First 6 years of his career, he posted a 4.61 ERA. He had a 3.91 FIP. The command last season, even with all the strikeouts and dominance, was at 12.2%. He has had a above average issue there as far as you got to go out there and improve the command. But I will say one key indicator that a pitcher is going to improve when it comes to command is first pitch strikes. And he's above average when it comes to throwing first pitch strikes. I think there are areas there where you can clean that up. And Tanner Scott has shown throughout his career that he does get better. He's not someone who, okay, I get here and I'm done. He keeps climbing that ladder as his career has progressed. So I think with the Dodgers, knowing that he's not in a Marlins organization where he's been mentioned in trades for the last couple of years there, he's not a rental with the Padres. No, he was looking for a home with the best organization in baseball, and he's there now. So I think that they'll improve in certain areas. So I think we're going to get the very best version of Tanner Scott. Now, as far as his role on this team, that's going to be very interesting because the Dodgers haven't been married to the idea of having that exclusive closer since Kimbrelsa, since they let him go. And you see they have a lot of talent. You got guys like Michael Kopech and Evan Phillips. You got Brusdar Graterol coming back at some point. Alex Vesia, Anthony Banda. They have a ton of high leverage arms. But if you do want to have Tanner Scott take down the ninth, this allows them to bump those high leverage arms earlier in games, shorten the game, and keep guys fresh. So they got a lot of flexibility. And I think with this team, they're never going to have hard and fast rules. So you will see them mix and match occasionally and play those matchups. Now, as far as the corresponding roster move, they don't have to make one. The Dodgers did need to clear space on the 40-man roster because they did trade Gavin Lux on January 6th. There's 39 players on the roster, so you don't need to do that. So this is a great signing. This was an absolute great signing. If you guys have been following the show for a long period of time, I will say, look, I mean, I see people out there thinking, okay, I'm using inside information to make these predictions or something like that. Look, I do have an idea when they like a certain player, right? And I do base it off of conversations I have with a lot of people within the organization around the league. But I will say, what I say early November, my dream offseason was this. Sign Blake Snell, the most dominant pitcher on the market. You can make the case that Corbin Burnes might be the better signing for the totality of his contract. That remains to be seen, but Corbin Burnes is very talented, a Cy Young winning pitcher. Max Fried, I was never into Max Fried, even though I think that is a good signing for the Yankees, especially because you don't get Juan Soto, a lefty from LA, but still, my guy was Blake Snell, and the Dodgers end up signing Blake Snell to be their dominant starting rotation piece that you added to this mix. And then it was bring back Teoscar Hernandez. Then it was sign Roki Sasaki, the Japanese phenom, which they did, where you're getting a $300+ million pitcher for less than $10 million. And we're going to talk a lot about Roki Sasaki next week because I got to address Jim Bowden, who's crying. Got to address Padres fans who are literally calling radio stations and crying, hey, I'm drinking a glass full of the tears around the league right now because a lot of people are mad just because Tanner Scott's the latest example of if it's close, if there's money out there that's close to what the Dodgers are offering you, even if it comes with a signing bonus and a deferrals, you're going to go with the Dodgers because what have we learned with this organization last couple of years? Yes, players want to get paid. They want their fair value, but these guys want to win. They want to be happy. And the Dodgers have created the ultimate destination organization where you get paid, you live in a great city, you play for a historic franchise, and the most important thing is you compete for championships. That is why they do this. They want to win the World Series, and the Dodgers, they give players around the league the opportunity to do that on an annual basis better than any team, and quite frankly, it's not even close. So, I got my dream off season so far. The one I laid out early November. Got Blake Snell, Teoscar re-signed, signed Roki Sasaki, brought back Blake Treinen, and now you signed Tanner Scott. The Dodgers get their elite reliever. Yes, they were in the mix to trade for Devin Williams, but when that did not go down, this was the move. Now you got to go out there, and you already have an A+ offseason, but you can get A++ and turn in some extra credit even though you probably don't even have to take the final at this point, and you're going to bring back Kike Hernandez and Clayton Kershaw. So that remains to be seen when that will happen. I expect it closer to spring training. Now, as far as the Dodgers payroll goes, you crunch the numbers now, and that 2025 payroll is around $369 million. Giggity. Man, that's a lot of scratch. But this is an organization that wants to win. Andrew Friedman told us a couple weeks ago that the reason why they're putting together this roster is in a lot of ways to reward their passionate fans. Those are the words of Andrew Friedman. And Andrew Friedman, his organization, also said that they weren't happy with the last 10 years with just one World Series. I have heard from people that have spoken to ownership that has said that Mark Walter, right at the top, he wants a dynasty, and he's used those words. And this is one way that you do that, by adding the best talent that's available. The Dodgers have done that. Best reliever, best starter, best role player, if you want to call Teoscar that. Isn't that funny? The Dodgers are the one team where their role players are all-stars with Teoscar Hernandez. So just think about that. And then you sign Roki Sasaki for $10 million, less than $10 million. And like I said, he has the chance to be the Dodgers version of Paul Skeens. And I hear people out there, we need an international draft because the Dodgers, da-da-da-da. You know what? That's an interesting debate. But I will say, just imagine if Paul Skeens was able to sign with any team in Major League Baseball and it was for less than $10 million, right? Probably chooses a better team than the Pirates. Probably chooses a team like the Dodgers, if we're being quite honest. So, yeah, the Dodgers did take advantage. They're playing within the rules, and they put together a roster that on paper right now could go down as one of the very best rosters in the history of Major League Baseball. But $369 million for 2025. You're looking at, for payroll purposes, $371 million, and you're at $40 million higher than you were in 2024. So they already posted a franchise record in spending last year, where you're already at $40 million above that. You're looking to pay over $100 million because you have already exceeded the Stephen Cohen tax level, where you're paying 110% on everything above that. So we'll crunch the numbers more in depth, but that's where they're at right now, $369 million. Now, as far as the Dodgers pen right now, it was a strength last offseason heading into it, and then that proved to be the case throughout the year. The Dodgers postseason, the regular season, had their ups and downs, but they were still elite by the end. I mean, the first part of the season, they struggled, but they still end up with a top 4 bullpen in the sport with a 3.53 ERA. But the pimple on a model there was that you didn't have a high strikeout rate. You had a 23.3% strikeout rate for the Dodgers bullpen in the regular season. That was 19th in the sport. You got Kopech now for a full year. You've got Tanner Scott, someone who has the ability to strike out guys at an elite clip. So you improve from that standpoint. And he joins a bullpen that has guys like Kopech, Evan Phillips, Alex Vesia, Anthony Banda. You're probably going to forget about Ryan Brazier, despite the fact that he's been really good in his career with the Dodgers as well. But it was the bullpen that was the dogs. And the Dodgers got their next dog today. And they got a pit bull in Tanner Scott. Great Scott. This is someone that is going to change the complexion of the Dodgers bullpen because he brings that strikeout element, because you have the ability to dominate from both sides. And you look at this as a whole, look at what happened with the Padres last season. They struggled to score. You had that 24-inning scoreless drought. It's cold. Offense couldn't do anything. It was the Dodgers bullpen that was a big part of the reason why they won that game in San Diego that allowed them to force Game 5. And the Dodgers bullpen, they accounted for 60.8% of the innings last postseason. Hopefully that number is closer to 50 and hopefully under that with the starting pitching acquisitions. But knowing that and knowing that the postseason is increasingly becoming a bullpen game, that's why the signing of Tanner Scott was so important. So it's just unbelievable. I mean, just kind of thinking about this, it's really incredible what the Dodgers have done. And yes, it's because, sure, they're a marquee franchise. They have an $8.25 billion television deal. They lead the league in attendance. The Guggenheim Group is worth billions and billions and billions of dollars. Yes, you won the World Series and you have Shohei Ohtani, but even so, we've seen franchises, the Marlins, the Nationals, list goes on. You win a World Series, you're like, oh, we're good. And what are they going to say? They can't be mad at us. We won a World Series. You bought ourselves like 10, 15 years. The Dodgers, they improved their team so tremendously that already had Hall of Famers, All-Stars, great players. Has a team ever won a World Series and improved as much as the Dodgers have had to do this offseason? I don't think that's the case. I think this is the most that a World Series champion has improved in the offseason, heading into their chance to repeat in the history of Major League Baseball. That is just a fact at this point. When you look at what they've added this offseason, look, usually the sequel isn't better than the original, and I don't think the sequel is better than the original because nothing can top Shohei Ohtani, but hey, I do think it's Godfather 2, because Godfather 1, impossible to top because it had Marlon Brando. I'm going to make an offer I can't refuse. But Godfather 2 was great too. This is a great offseason for your Los Angeles Dodgers. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited because I truly believe that we are witnessing the golden age of Dodger baseball at its peak prime. I love seeing these meltdowns. And I love seeing the fact that, hold up, oh, people act like the Dodgers have had this talent for years and years and years. We're just a couple years removed from Lance Lynn. Oh, wait, just gave another home run in the postseason. We're a couple years removed from Bobby Miller not having the best success in Game 2 as a rookie and Clayton Kershaw being injured and getting the ball in Game 1. That was just 2 years ago. Just 2 years ago. So let's not forget that they have overhauled this starting rotation in the matter of 2 years. And it's just a good way to remember that things have changed. I'm pretty sure that rest of baseball is pissed, but Dodgers Nation is happy. It's all that matters to me. It matters to you, right? But that's going to do it for this emergency edition of Dodgers Dugout Live. We'll be back tomorrow. We'll be back in the studio on Tuesday. Haven't gotten official word of the Roki Sasaki press conference, but I'm guessing it's early next week, and I'll be in attendance for that. But thanks, guys. Yeah, I got to go in and watch some of these NFL playoff games. But, hey, let me know down below in the comment section. What is your reaction? What are your thoughts about this signing? Tanner Scott, the Dodgers get the best free agent reliever, Tanner Scott. But let me know down below. My name is Doug McCain. You can follow me on X and Instagram at DMac_LA. If you haven't yet, do me a huge favor. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, hit the like button. And remember, nothing brings us together quite like Dodger baseball. And until next time, think blue, bleed blue, and I'm out.